The high mage looked at me like I was a rare vintage of wine, something to be consumed, not someone to be heard. "You have a rare gift, Alara," he said, his silken robes sweeping across the marble floor of the spire. "Your internal mana is pure, untapped. If you bind your soul to mine, I can channel your power. We could rule the 7 sectors. You would be the queen of the arcane." In this kingdom, girls like me were called conduits. We were taught from birth that our only purpose was to find a powerful mage and feed them our energy so they could perform great feats. We were the fuel, they were the fire. I looked at the golden cuff he held in his hand, the binding ring. It looked like jewelry, but I knew it was a leash. I looked into his eyes and saw the same thing I'd seen in every man who tried to mentor me. He didn't want my talent, he wanted my silence. "And what happens to me once the mana is drained?" I asked. He laughed, a light, dismissive sound. "You'll be cared for, of course. You'll live in luxury. You won't have to worry about a thing." In other words, I would be a hollow shell in a silk dress. "The cuff is beautiful," I said, stepping closer. He reached out, his smile widening, victory already written on his face. He thought I was finally yielding to the natural order. I didn't take the cuff. I reached out and touched the center of his chest. "But I've decided I don't want to be a battery," I whispered. "I want to be the storm." I didn't channel my power into him. I pulled his own stolen energy out. The spire shook. The blue flames in the sconces turned a violent, screaming violet. The high mage's eyes went wide as his great feats began to unravel. The sky outside, which he had kept eternally sunny for his own comfort, suddenly bruised into a deep, angry charcoal. "What are you doing?" he gasped, falling to his knees as his magic flickered like a dying candle. "You're a conduit. You can't hold this much power. It will burn you." "Then let it burn," I said, feeling the raw, terrifying heat of my own soul finally breaking the dam. "I'd rather be a bonfire than your fireplace." I walked out of the spire as the marble began to crack. I didn't look back to see if he survived. I didn't care if I was queen. I walked down the mountain to the villages below, where the common folk were freezing because the mages took all the heat. I opened my palms, and for the first time in 1,000 years, the magic didn't belong to a throne. It belonged to the wind. They call me the Unbound now. The mages call me a glitch in the spell. But the women in the fields, they just call me by my name.